Okay, we're about ready to get started on all of our programs for the year, and so this is a really important one here. I've opened up a brand new spreadsheet, and you might have thought that, for all year long you're going to have to do a different spreadsheet for every program that you make for each competency, but that's not going to be the case. We're going to do all of our code all in one spreadsheet, and because we can have multiple sheets within a spreadsheet. So we have a tab right here, which I'm going to click on the little thing there, and I'm just going to click rename, and I'm going to call this like the welcome page. And whenever you open a spreadsheet for the first time, it'll always come under the first tab. So this first tab will be the first thing that shows when you open up a spreadsheet. And you can do whatever, make this kind of fancy, I guess. You can, let's see, I'm going to insert an image. I'm not going to take a lot of time to make this super fancy or anything, but you can really make this first page, kind of cool. I'll merge. Welcome to Mr. Herman's physics programs. Something like that. Don't know why I'm wasting my time. You know how to do this stuff. I hope. Okay. Oh, let's see. I don't want to wrap. Okay. View grid line, get rid of them. Okay. That looks bad. All right, that's not very exciting, but oh well, that's good enough. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, every time you do you're going to do a new program, all you have to do is make a new tab. So I'll make a couple of tabs here, and I'll rename this one. This will be whatever program I'm going to do for like 1.1 in my class, and then this one will be 1.2. So I have different tabs, and so these are different sheets, and we, remember to do a program, remember we were like trying to get the active spreadsheet, or active sheet. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can activate that appropriate sheet. So what I'm going to do here is an interesting one. I'm going to up here in this menu here, I can actually put in my own custom menu up in here, which is going to be, I can make a drop down to be able to go to any program that I want to throughout the whole year. So that's why we can do the whole thing in one spreadsheet. So the way to do that is I still need to go into Tools and open up the script editor. And that starts me with a certain code page. Once it gets all set up here. I'll come up here and name this physics G-force. Okay, and so here's my first code, and I can rename this Google script. So I'm going to call this welcome. That particular code. Okay, so in this function, and it didn't do it, but maybe it's okay. Enter new file name. Oh, welcome. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, so it renamed it up here before. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right, so a function that I'm going to put in here. Okay, so yeah, let's see. I want to come back. I want to rename. Can I name this? Physics G force. Okay, there we go. I wanted the project name something different than I wanted this code. Okay, so this first on this welcome page is Google script. I'm going to use a specialized function. And the specialized function, there's a built-in specialized function. It's called onOpen. Just like that, camel case, O-N, and then capital O-P-E-N, onOpen. And this is a specialized built-in function in Google script which will run immediately when you first open the spreadsheet app. So if it's all closed up and then you open up the spreadsheet app, it's going to run whatever this particular code is right off the bat. And so there's a lot of things you could probably use it for that maybe I haven't thought of right now. But the main thing we're going to use it for is that when you open up your Google spreadsheet, or if you send a link to me to view it and I open it up, then it's going to run this onOpen function, and it's going to set up a custom menu of all of your physics programs up in that that up here, right in here. Okay, so we're going to look what that looks like. So the first thing we do is we actually call the spreadsheet app dot, and then remember there's a lot of different things we can do if you remember. One of the things that was in this list is this one here, get UI, a user interface. We're going to do get UI. Okay, and so then what we're going to do is we're going to in that wait, I don't need those. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm calling this method dot get UI, and then I would want to do a dot. There's a create menu that I can do. Okay, and I can call the menu. This takes some string, whatever you want it to be called. You can change this later. I'll call it my physics programs. Okay, and then I can do dot. And by the way, when you're doing all these dot methods we're calling methods on this spreadsheet app, you can always hit return and just do dot, and you can just keep going. So that might be better to do right here. So I'm going to do dot add item. There it is, add item. And you'll notice that in this parentheses it's going to be a string caption, which means what you want it called in your menu, and then a string of the function name. So there's going to be a function name that we're going to, when we select it from the menu, it's going to run a function. So this might be a little confusing in the beginning. I think you'll totally get it here at the end. So so we can add as many items we want to as our menu. So that we're going to, every time we do a new program throughout the year, we're going to make sure we come into our menu here and add that item to it. So I'm going to do add item, and the first program, I don't know, 1.1, we'll call it measurement, something on measurement. Okay, and then I'll do a comma, and then I'm going to do the name of a function that I want run when someone selects this. And we haven't built that function yet, but I'm going to call that function. I still need to put that into a text format also. We'll call it show 1.1. And then parenthesis. No, we'll do another one. Dot add item 1.2 math, and then the function there will be show 1.2. Okay, and that for right now we'll just do two items. And then we do, once we're done with all the add items, and we're going to put a lot more in there, eventually the last line you do is dot add, right here, add to UI. We need to add it to the user interface. And I'll do that. And so that's that function. That's a simple function, onOpen. When you open a spreadsheet, it's going to create up at the top a menu of all your programs. Now, what happens when they, in that drop-down menu, they choose one of these? They choose 1.1 measurement, or they choose 1.2 math. Well, it's going to automatically then run these functions here. So we need to make a function for that. So function, the first function is called show 1.1. It's going to be the name of the function. And what do we want to put in this function? Okay, the only thing really you want to put in this function is to make that particular tab, that sheet, the active sheet. Because you remember in our programs, we're always kind of referring to the active sheet. We didn't really do the sheet by name. So what we need to do is we need to actually activate the sheet that the user is selecting to do. So we're going to set up a variable. Normally we set up a variable called sheet. Now this time I'm going to call a variable called SS, which stands for spreadsheet, because I'm not going to go quite down as far yet. So var SS equals spreadsheet app dot what do we want? We want get active spreadsheet. That's the one we're on. Okay. And normally, remember, after this, we would do get active sheet. But what we're going to do instead this time is we're going to try to activate a sheet. So we're going to do set active sheet. There it is, set active sheet. And what do we want to set it to? Which one do we want? Well, we want to actually, you know what? I can't do this way. I'm going to be able to get some code going. Let's just do that first. Set up a variable for our spreadsheet. Okay, and now let's do on that spreadsheet. Let's do ss dot you know what? This isn't going to work because that I can't do a decimal in my. Can I do a dash? I wonder. I should check it here first, I guess. Nope. Show measurement. Show measurement. Show math. Those are going to be my names of my functions. Yep, that worked. Okay, so you can't have a dot or a dash, I guess, in your function title. I guess I should have known that. So I'm going to call this, when I select this in the menu, it's going to run this function show measurement. Here's the function. And so what we're going to do first of all is we're going to set up the spreadsheet variable. And then on the spreadsheet, we're going to set the active sheet. So set active sheet. And what do we want to set it to? Well, we want to set to, like on this first one, we want to set it down to 1.1, that tab right there. So how do we do that? Well, we have to do ss dot get active sheet by, let's see, get, is there a sheet? Dot get sheet by name. There it is. Get sheet by name. That's what I needed instead. So I'm going to get sheet by name, and I'm going to 1.1. I need the name of the sheet, which would be the tab. So get sheet 1.1, and that's good. So that's going to be the sheet name. I'm going to get the sheet by the sheet name, and I'm going to set active sheet for that sheet. I hope that makes sense. So this was for the spreadsheet, and on the spreadsheet I said set active sheet to I had to get active sheet 1.1 on SS. So you get sheet by name 1.1 on the spreadsheet. And I'm going to set the active sheet to that particular thing. Okay. All right. So basically that's 2 lines of code in that function. So when I select 1.1 measurement, it's going to run this measurement. It's going to basically set the active sheet to 1.1. That's what all it's doing. So I'm going to copy that function. I'm going to have to copy this for every function that I end up doing. So this one's called show math. So every time you write a new program for each unit or each competency, you'll come in here and you'll just add it to the items, and then you'll add your function here. The only thing I have to change here is, the next table there. Okay, we're going to save that. Let's see, I think we can probably come here and do on open and run it. Authorization required, review permissions. Yeah, we have to go through this process again. Running function on open. And there it is. So now there's a drop-down menu up here on the top, My Physics Programs. And that will, whenever you open up this spreadsheet from now on, this whole spreadsheet app, it might delay a little bit, but you'll see it loading, and then all of a sudden then you'll see this up here. So if I look on this and then drop down, I have 2 programs that I could run. See, right now the active sheet is the welcome sheet, but to run things on 1.1, I need to make that the active sheet. So if I select 1.1 measurement, see it's running a script, and it activated that. Or if I come up here and I do, okay, what about 1.2? Then now 1.2 is the active sheet. And of course, on this sheet, you'll have a user interface that you can run programs and stuff on that. Okay. Okay. I can click on welcome and go back here, and maybe in this I should say, click on the My Physics Programs menu above. Something like that. Okay. Now, so what we want to do is you can do all of your functions all in the same script, but I don't like doing that. So this script here is my welcome Google script. When it first opens up, it's just a function on open. It creates this menu here, this menu, and then the menu, depending on what they choose in the menu, it'll run these various functions here. And all these functions, each of these functions, all they're doing is setting a new active sheet to the particular tab that we want. Okay, so I can come over here, I can come up here and do File, New, Script File. And so for this one, I might do measurement. I'll click OK. And so now there's going to be another script file over here called measurement, and I can do functions on here too. Whenever you're calling the functions, as long as you have the active sheet up, then it'll get the functions from this particular thing. So I can do sheets and I can do functions in here. I can do another Google script. So I'm going to do basically a different Google script for every competency that I'm going to have, and it'll be able to run that. So everything is going to be done all in one big spreadsheet. So you can set up a really cool welcome page that opens up, and then anyone can come up here, or to check your programs, I can come up here and just go down and select whichever one I want. That'll bring me to this active sheet, and there'll be some kind of user interface on here, and I can test your program out and see if it works correctly. So that's kind of how to set up the thing for the year, and good luck. We're going to start in on the first program.